Hello. So I'm going to do a bit of a non-sketchbook tour today. I've got my most recent art folder and going to have a little flick through it. So this first piece is, there's a lot of Terry Runyon inspired pieces in this pile because I've been doing a few of her Skillshare classes, and I bought her book Painting Happiness from the Works for £5. Absolute bargain, wonderful book. So that's the first one. There's two of these that I've done. Very different colour palettes, but lovely idea from Terry Runyon. This is one of my watercolour doodle pieces. There'll be a few of these in this pile as well. This one used the Schminker super granulating paints. So I don't know if you can see all the detail in the paint behind the doodles. Some birds that I did, inspired by an art swap that I got. Didn't turn out quite as I wanted, but it's quite jolly nonetheless. So I combined my watercolour doodles with a bit of a cartoony portrait. I was quite pleased with how this one turned out, to be honest. One of my favourites. Some smaller pieces, a little quick floral watercolours that I did. I think this is the one I did on a different video, one of my first videos. More doodles, brown and, well, it was Payne's grey rather than blue, but it's obviously got a bluey tinge to it. And I used the Spectrum Noir metallic oil-based paint markers to go over the top. I think they've got quite a metallic, like sort of mirror-like sheen when they're dry. An attempt at some dandelions. Again, it didn't turn out quite how I like, but it was an alright first attempt. I think I added too many leaves and things at the bottom, cluttered it up a bit. More doodles, nice bright green one. I think I like the monochromatic ones better for the most part, although I do like the rainbow one with the portrait very much. More Terry Runyon inspired stuff. Pretty much anything here with cats on is inspired by Terry Runyon. So this was part of the Skillshare class. This was a nice jolly little piece that I painted. To go with this one. Don't do it, it's horrid out here. Certainly true sometimes. A pencil eraser on there. Oh, this was my metamorphosis piece for the Scrawlerbox challenge a couple of months ago. I got a bit stuck with a prompt. I didn't want to do a butterfly, which seemed to be the obvious. But quite like these little rice patterns, and I wish I'd had a finer pen to do the doodles with over the top of the watercolour pencils, but still quite happy with it. Oh, more Terry Runyon inspired bits and pieces. That one's quite cute. That one should not have been outlined. Not very happy with that one at all. This was a Terry Runyon Skillshare class. I think there's another bigger version of this somewhere in the pile as well, because I enjoyed it so much I had another go. This one was very much inspired by Zoe Artist on YouTube. She's been painting a lot of moons and they were gorgeous, so I wanted to have a go. She does these sort of leaves over the top as well, so yes, very much inspired by Zoe, this one. Little collage piece that I did. These flowers are all circles that I've stuck on. That was quite fun to do. Oh, I've got a bit random this day, decided to do a bit of a collage, and it's got a bit of the Lady of Shalott poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson. On either side the river lie long fields of barley and of rye, that cloth the world and meet the sky, and through the field the road runs by to many towered Camelot. And up and down the people go, gazing where the lilies blow, round the island there below, the island of Shalott. Some of these little stickers and things that I got in sketch and story boxes, some granulating paint, bits of origami paper and washi tape. It was fun, it was fun. Alright, I tried to do one of my doodle pictures on top of the Derwent pastel watercolours that we got in a scrawler box last year. Didn't show up quite as well, but it's quite a nice subtle effect. Should probably hold it still for a second. Brusho. I did this with Brusho as part of a Skillshare class. It didn't turn out. Made a few changes to how it was in the class, and you can see me doing these on a video in my on my channel. These were pebble stack collages that I did as part of a Skillshare class by Denise Love. There's 3 of them. That one's got a bit of a background on it, a bit of tissue paper that I stuck on. This one I did some little leaves and things. This one's got gold leaf on it, if you can see that. So there's those. Oh, this was a potential for an album cover or a single cover for Kyle Boswell. It was rejected in favour of a different idea that I came up with, but my doodles on a pair of pants. Ooh, more Brusho. Used it to create the background and then did some flowers on top. I wanted it to look like a poppy field, but I think it's a bit overdone. But nice and vibrant nonetheless. Ooh, this is I found some Frisk black watercolour paper in TK Maxx of all places. That was heavily reduced, so I had to get it and have a go, and well, I did some flowers to test the paper out and see how it goes. I used my Paul Rubens metallic watercolours. I was quite happy with that. Ooh, more Terry Runyon inspired pieces. This was there was a very similar picture in the Painting Happiness book, and I just really wanted to have a go at it. So there's a little jar of catnip with some cats, and this was another Brusho picture. I did this in the garden, had a lovely afternoon. Again, did the background with watercolour, added some Brusho, and then did the lavender over the top. A few more Brusho experiments. This was just one pot of Brusho and all these colours came out of it. I didn't get on very well with the masking fluid, but I think they turned out alright overall. This was my first attempt at Brusho. Just wanted to experiment, did a few fireworks. This was a Skillshare class as well. I cannot remember the name of the teacher, but it's definitely not original. I did this with a Skillshare class, and I was really pleased with how it turned out. So might have another go at drawing some more, painting some more ice lollies at some point, because it was really quite fun, and you can do all sorts with it by the looks of things. I just need to get imaginative. Yeah, more Terry Runyon inspired stuff. Anything with cats at the moment is Terry Runyon inspired. Did a bit of collage with some patterned origami paper. Oh, this was my partner asked me to do a giraffe playing football, so this is what I came up with. Quite a jolly little picture. Oh, this one was good fun. I bought some oil pastels, again in TK Maxx, because they were reduced to sort of £4, which was a bargain, and used them with my watercolour paints to create this little picture, which I was quite happy with when I finished it. I've done a couple of similar ones since, but they've been given away, so I can't show them to you. Aha! This was a collection of images that I did as part of a Skillshare class by, have a guess, Terry Runyon. So there's this one that was in the balls of yarn, which I had a lot of fun doing. This one has a bit more detail and was really enjoyable. I added the bird, which was from another one of her classes. I like what I've done with the dress. And some rainbow cats that were part of the same class. You can see they've all got different facial expressions. Little sad cat on the end. Nope. And the last one. Yeah, this one was a lot of fun because you had a lot of freedom adding different colours to the birds. So got to be a bit imaginative with it, despite it being a sort of follow-along class. Oh, this was my scrawler box piece that ended up in the zine. I always say that wrong. It was in the zine this month. That was for the kaleidoscope prompt with the Ecoline markers. Quite happy with how vibrant that turned out. That's a tortoise silhouette. I was pleased with this effect at the top and the salt for bubbles and things, so yeah, quite happy with that one. Oh. Some little cardy paper pictures that I did. It's some doodles on some neon paint. Don't know. They're brighter than the camera's showing. It's very, very neon, these paints. Little floofy bumblebee. Always like doing the fur on bumblebees. Don't know if you can see it that well, but it looks very floofy. And a nice cup of coffee, because, well, it's always good to have coffee, I think. I like a coffee in the morning. This was another Skillshare class, but I can't remember who it was by. But just so you know, I'm not claiming any originality on this image. I wanted to practice painting white things. And I liked how they did the background on this one, so I've used that technique since. Oh, this was just something I did for fun. Wanted a nice vibrant sky with some silhouettes in the front, so very happy with that one. Again, it looks far more vibrant in real life than it does on camera, but hopefully you're getting the gist. Oh, that's the one I mentioned. Recreation of a Skillshare class by Terry Runyon, because I enjoyed it so much I wanted to do the piece twice. That was using a very thick bit of super granulating paint and a wolf spray bottle, and sort of moving it round and then adding a few tree details on the top. So that was very fun, a little bit of a play. This is a series of pictures I did as part of a Skillshare class by Denise Love again. She does a lot of abstract stuff that's really fun. This was a whole class on graphite and gold together, so I used some water soluble graphite, pencils and Winsor & Newton gold ink. This was for a sketch and story prompt, or rather with the sketch and story supplies 1 month. Pleased with that. Drawing people isn't really my forte, but I had a lot of fun. I think the prompt was Queen of Hearts, which is why I did this one. But I'm sort of more pleased with the background than I was with the foreground on that one. Ooh, some abstract acrylic painting with some paint markers, and tried to use spring colours. So there's lots of pinks and pale greens, sort of sagey green rather than vibrant ones, and some silver, which is why it's hopefully shining a bit. This was another Skillshare, no it wasn't Skillshare, Scrawlerbox piece. I can't remember what the prompt was, but we got 3 Copic markers, and the prompt was leaning towards portraits, which I'm not very good at, so this is what I did for this. And finally this one, which was inspired by something I saw on Instagram. I just wanted to sort of like this tealy blue sky with leaves all around it and stuff, and I just thought it was really nice and I wanted to do my own version. So this is what I created. So that is all of my paintings and things from the last few months. Said I like taking inspiration from other people, doing Skillshare classes. I enjoy my scrawler boxes, and obviously do a few bits that are original every now and again. So hopefully you've enjoyed looking through all that lot, and I will catch you again soon.